What's going on, everybody? And welcome to the Other Side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest of cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon Tynes.
What's up? What's up?
And Levon Maynard could not make it this week, but he'll be back next week. This is the weekly rundown. So this is the non-cybersecurity show of the week. So just put that disclaimer out there. We talk about movies, TVs, books, all that good stuff. If you want to get to the cyber, to the nitty gritty, tune in Monday and Tuesday are our topics. So we discussed the Colorado utility company that lost PII. Tuesday we talked about a memorandum of understanding between Saudi and the U.S. to better partner when it comes to cybersecurity. Wednesday's discussion was about what is this, the Sparrow guys, predatory Sparrow, attacking a Iranian steel mill, and from their cyber attack they had real world damage. They started a fire, so that's pretty crazy. Definitely tune in for that one. And today, everything else, right? So what you been up to, Shannon?
Man, we had that little hiatus, man, because your boy got sick. You know what I mean? So I wasn't doing too much. I didn't go out to any movies, didn't catch any of the good stuff that was out there. Thor is coming out, or it came out, so I didn't catch that. I still want to see Top Gun. I haven't caught that yet. But there was a few shows I started watching because I've been told in the past that they were pretty good, but I just wasn't really feeling them, right? So like True Detective was one of them. I don't know if you ever like
Okay.
Detective. I couldn't get into it, man. I was just like, nah, not for me. There's a TV show called Ghosts that's out there. I'm like, I'll give it another one before I probably give up on it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Supposed to, like, the stuff is supposed to be, the best new show, this, that, and the third. Not for me. I started watching Snowfall. I don't know if you've seen Snowfall.
So my wife watched it. She really liked it.
Yeah, so I'm digging that one. So I'm gonna dig into that one a little bit more. Old Man is another one I was watching with Jeff Bridges. It's kind of hit or miss. It's kind of slowed down a little bit for me lately. I haven't watched the most recent episode, but yeah, Jeff Bridges is this CIA guy that's been in hiding for like 30 years, and all of a sudden stuff
Okay.
comes up where they gotta get him again. But first couple episodes, it was pretty good, right? And like he's in his 70s, like he's Jeff Bridges now, right? So like he's
Right.
old. So there's some times where he takes a beating. It's not like Steven Seagal where he don't get hit, right?
Right.
So, sometimes when they come after him and he's just like, I'm 70 years old, gotta fend these people off. But yeah, it's kind of slowed down a little bit for me. But I need to watch the newest one because it's like six episodes in now, I think. Um, I'll give that a shot and see what's going on with that. I finished Miss Marvel. I wasn't thrilled with it. I don't know
Yeah.
what was your take on that, man? Like, did you like it?
And yeah, I give it a 6.
That's not that good. Out of
Yeah.
10, right?
Right.
That's
It and,
6 out
and
of
it was
7.
it's because I'm spoiled, right? Like I don't think it was really. I love the cultural aspects of it.
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
it's the pacing. Like all these shows, pacing just seems off. Like 6 episodes. Like I'm happy you're giving me a 6-hour origin story. I like that. Maybe it should be 8 episodes or something. Like it just feels rushed. Like they start off real slow and there's mystery, and then in the middle there's this reveal, but you don't know where it's going. Like you don't know who the big bad is or like what the direction is. And then like the last episodes, they just like speeding through, and it's just I don't know. It kind of does a disservice, I think. But Phase 4 is just I like Phase 4, but Phase 4 doesn't seem to have purpose.
Well, I think it's because they're going away from what we grew up with and from what got very popular. Going back to
Yeah.
2008 or 9, whenever Iron Man came out, whenever that was.
Mhm.
So like all those people are pretty much gone at this point, right? So like you don't have Tony anymore. I guess you still have Thor, right? But
Yeah.
you don't have Tony anymore, and you got different people that are coming up, and like even at the end of the series, like you'll see um what did it say at the end of Miss Marvel? Like you'll see her in the
Right.
series is coming up.
The Marvels.
Yeah, the Marvels is what it was. But like for me, I don't think it was the same thing it was for you that didn't really do it for me. It was more of the teenage angst thing, right?
Right. Right.
I don't want to hear about how
They
you
need a
don't
character too.
to
All
be
right.
friend. Yeah, like come on, man. Like I don't know. Like you're a hero now. Like step up.
Right,
You know what I
right.
mean? Like I didn't want to tell you because I didn't think you'd be my friend. And I'm like, ah,
Yeah,
come on, get away from that for me. But yeah, the cultural stuff, like that was nice. It was beautiful, even right because it's
yeah,
colorful, right, and it showed other people enjoying the culture. I had no problem with that. So yeah, it didn't really do it for me. And like this kind of and I've said this before. I'm willing to give Marvel a break on some stuff, right? But like you had Moon Knight, and then you had this, and I'm kind of like, I don't know, right? Like
yeah. What was it? There was something in between. What was in between?
Obi-Wan, that was Star Wars, though.
And there was another Disney, or there was another Marvel show.
It was
I feel
Moon
like
Knight.
I feel like we talked about something else. I guess there wasn't.
Yeah, it was Moon Knight, Obi-Wan, and then
Yeah,
Miss
and then
Marvel.
it was yeah, yep. You're
Yeah,
right.
yeah. So yeah, but Moon Knight I wasn't too thrilled with either, right? But there was a lot of the pacing, I would say, with that one, where it's kind of
Yeah,
like, oh, you know what I mean? But yeah, it didn't really do it for me, man. I'm just kind of like, all right, whatever.
yeah.
Um,
Well, now you got She-Hulk, so let's see how that one goes.
that's in another couple weeks, right? Because that's
Hmm.
August 8th or something like that,
But I
maybe.
think it's gonna be the same thing. I think it's gonna be you're not really gonna like it's gonna be a mystery. I think it'll be entertaining. Like it looks like it's gonna be funny, which I'm gonna appreciate. But like, what is the end goal? Is what I'm trying to get at. Like, I think maybe that's they're trying to break that stereotype or that mold. Because like you said, they did it through three phases, right? Like we knew what the big bad was. They got to the big bad. It came to a very satisfying end. Like we can't keep doing that. Like we can't do that another decade, get into the big bad or whatever. I remember reading an article where it wasn't Kevin Feige, but it was another producer said that Phase 4 is dealing with fallout, basically like trauma. Like these are the ramifications of our decisions. Because you saw it in WandaVision, you saw it in Doctor Strange. Oh, that's what it was. It was a movie. It was Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Um, like just because they thought they were doing the right thing doesn't necessarily mean they couldn't have did it a different way. And then you get to see, especially Doctor Strange, like here's another way it could have been handled, um,
So I
which was
like
still not
that.
that great.
I like that explanation, but like you have to present it in a way that's fulfilling, though. Like
Yeah,
I'm all for that, right? Show me the trauma, right? Like show me someone that wants to that fears the loss of their kids that weren't even real. You know what I mean? Like I'm all for
right.
that. You know what I'm saying? But at what point is it like I don't need to hear talking about this, that, and the third, especially when you have Disney Plus series to where you should be getting that out of the way. By the time the movie comes around, you shouldn't be spending any more time talking on it.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Right.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like we
It
don't have to
seems like
build,
they're
we don't have to
using
build up.
yeah they're using that like so the only people who got that weren't new were Falcon and Winter Soldier and Hawkeye. But even Hawkeye introduced new characters, right? Well, so did
Loki.
Falcon and Winter Soldier. Yeah, so they all introduced new characters. WandaVision,
Yeah.
what oh man, what's her superhero name? It was Photon. So like you haven't seen her in a while, Monica Rambeau's daughter, and she'll be in the Marvels or whatever. So they're introducing, I guess, the next generation. Then they'll get there. But how long is Phase 4? Like it feels like it's been twice as long as Phase 1, 2, and 3. Like
Which one actually started phase 4 though? Was that uh
uh,
Black Widow?
Spider-Man, right? Wasn't it Spider-Man?
Was it Spider-Man?
I think the last Spider-Man started Phase 4. I could be
No.
wrong though.
I thought Black Widow did because that came out before that, right? Or no?
Yeah, maybe, but Black
Because
Widow's a
last
prequel,
Spider-Man was
right?
December. It is, but like it got into present day, right? Because remember, no, it might have been oh, what was it? You might be Falcon and Winter Soldier. Because like even with Black Widow, it kind of came back to the present, and like
Yeah,
at the end they're talking about the agent and all that other stuff. Because what's her name showed up from Seinfeld, right?
yeah,
So it might be Falcon and Winter Soldier might have been what might have kicked it off. I don't know. I don't know. I'd have to
yeah,
go with that, but yeah, no, it's like I don't know. Some of these shows, again, the last two, and I'm willing to give them a pass to where it's like okay, Marvel, you've done some good stuff, but now you don't rest on your laurels. You know what I mean?
right,
Don't.
right. But it and even still though, like Loki felt like it was getting somewhere. Like Loki explained a lot, right? And it showed a big bad, and then they just never talked about it again. So Like, I don't think we'll see Anthony Majors again until Ant-Man and Wasp 3.
The
And like,
Quantumania or whatever it is.
yeah, I think they said that's the next time we'll see him. I'm really surprised he's not popped up in another show. Um, but they also said that the timeline isn't necessarily what we believe it is. So like Ms. Marvel is that's not present. Like that seems to be a little bit not a prequel, but like the Statue of Liberty wasn't the Statue of Liberty from the Spider-Man movie, right? It was just the regular Statue of Liberty. I didn't even peep that.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Yeah, it wasn't being renovated.
Mm.
So I was like, oh, okay, so this happened before that happened. So I would explain it, right? Because there's I talk about it at work all the time. There's certain things I need them to bring back up because it bothers me. There's a hand sticking out of the ocean. Let's talk about that. The sky keeps changing to different colors, right? Like Moon Knight, like that would give some people some PTSD, right? And then um all the stuff that happened in Doctor Strange, like what is going on? Like people just don't talk about it. It's just like,
Well, I mean, having the multiverse opens it up to do all those crazy things too, right? So like Loki kind of opened the door for that because that's where
yeah,
that kind of went. Because at the end of Loki, like all of a sudden it wasn't the man who shall not be named or whatever his name was. Like it was Kang.
right.
You know what I mean? So um, we're gonna have to deal with that now. But you're right in that some of the stuff, like I didn't even pick up on the Statue of Liberty thing, but they're in Jersey too, right? So like, can you see the Statue of Liberty from Jersey? Like I don't know.
Hmm. Yeah,
See?
you can.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Like I don't know. I'm not I know of when I think Statue of Liberty, I think New York. And I know Jersey is right there next to it, but I don't know what you
Right.
can see from where in Jersey.
But yeah,
But
there's a scene where they show there's also some crazy Easter eggs, like the Ten Rings shows up in there, but then they don't talk about it. I'm just like, ah. Like you could tie some more stuff together, but I guess you're asking for a lot.
yeah, for
But
sure. It's one of those things, like I said, I'm willing to give them a pass. I haven't gone to see Thor Love and Thunder yet, but
yeah.
reviews are kind of not as high on it as you would expect them to be for Marvel movies.
Uh I thought it was really funny. I would give it a solid 7. And that's not bad. Like
It's not Marvel though. Right?
well, a 7 for a
Think
Marvel
about
flick. Like
that.
it's the Marvel scale 7.
Mm,
It's way better than Eternals, I'll tell you that much. But no, so for that movie, because I don't want to spoil anything, um, it was pacing. Like the movie flowed real fast. Like I really enjoyed it. Christian Bale did his thing. All the returning cast, excellent. Um, it was moving super fast. Like it was capped at 2 hours. They were in, they were out. It was a good time. And now you're starting to see on different interviews and stuff like that. His cut was like crazy long. Like he was over 3 hours. Um, so there's a lot of stuff he cut out of the movie to make it fit in 2 hours. Because uh, was it Watiti? Is that how you pronounce this?
Wati Takiti or so I can't
Yeah.
remember. Yeah.
He says he doesn't like director's cuts. He was like basically that it won't exist. He was like the stuff gets cut out of the movie because it's not good. So if I cut it out, it was not good, or it did not service the movie. So, but I'm like,
So
he shot double the footage that we saw. So there's like a scene. Well, I can't give nothing away. You haven't seen it yet, but after you see it, I'm like, hey, this is some of the stuff he cut out of it.
I read an article where he had Russell Crowe do his lines twice. So he had him do them in a British accent and had him do them in a Greek accent.
Yeah,
So like if it's stuff like that, you know what I mean? It's like, well, okay, I can get that, right? Like you decide to go at one cut and that's fine. Now if he did that elsewhere where he was like, okay, Tessa, you're not British anymore. Valkyrie, you're not British anymore. You're American, like if it's stuff like that, like okay, that could be cut, that could be on the floor.
yeah.
But like to make it 3 hours too, though, you got to be careful with that because then it could be slow in spots. And I'm not feeling that either, right? The fact
Right,
that you can get
right.
it all in 2 hours, I'm all for that.
Yeah, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. Like I said, like Christian Bale did an excellent job, all that stuff. But the pacing, like all these, I don't know what it is. Like maybe I am getting spoiled off of these very long, like Stranger Things last episode was 2 hours and 20 minutes. It didn't feel like it. Like it didn't feel like it took that long or whatever. But I get it's asking a lot for audience to sit there for the Snyder cut, stuff like that. Like we don't need 5 hour movies per
Well,
se.
Endgame was 3 hours, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Was that not 3 hours? Yeah. So I mean,
yeah,
they've done it before, but Endgame was wrapping up too, right? Like they were wrapping up a phase. So
right. Yeah, that whole decade long arc.
yeah.
But I don't know. I'm not complaining about the riches we are getting. Right. I'm just like I don't know where it's going. So you still have She-Hulk, which I don't think that doesn't seem like a show that's going to reveal something crazy to me. It may, but it's not. I think it's gonna be more local, right? They're introducing a character. They're sunsetting Bruce Banner, Mark Ruffalo, stuff like that. I think it's progression over like big reveals for that show. And then I think Ironheart. I think that one comes out after that one, where they introduce uh, the Tony Stark's actual successor, right? It's like Riri. She's a brilliant student. They're gonna bring her in, but I think that might also be kind of angsty, right? You're gonna introduce a character that's pretty young, so Shannon's out right there.
Yeah, you lost me. You know what I mean? Like I don't know.
or
I just
or not. Who's to say?
yeah, I don't know. It just didn't do it for me when it came to Miss Marvel, because of that. I'm like, Lee, this is not like I. So like I was watching other stuff before I watched the last episode of Miss Marvel because I was just like, I can wait on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's other stuff I could watch before that. But it is what it is. Marvel, I will still throw my money at them, right?
Oh yeah, I'm watching everything.
You know what I'm saying? So like I will eventually see Thor. I will watch Wakanda Forever in November, right? When that comes
Mhm.
out. So they still gonna get my money, you know.
Oh yeah, definitely. So I started Star Wars. That's the thing. I just started Star Wars. So everybody's like, "Oh, you probably saw something." I have not. I watched episode 2 when I was in Iraq because they debuted a week early. So like the whole base went to the theater to watch it. And it was a good time because of the energy in the room. I had no clue what was going on. I was like, "What is happening right now?" I was just watching.
So how are you?
Um,
So how are you watching? Are you watching episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or are you watching 4, 5, and 6 that came out first? Like, what's the order
nope,
you're watching them?
nope. I'm not doing it the proper way. Everybody keeps saying like, "You need to do it." Yeah, no, I'm not doing. I'm just watching it in the timeline order. So
So
I
episode
watched
one,
episodes
two,
1, 2,
three.
and 3, the ones with Natalie Portman.
Yeah.
Um, after I finished those, I went into Obi-Wan, which I know is sacrilege because y'all waited decades for this show, and I just watched it off the bat. They did a really good job though. Like when it comes to them making these prequel shows, they fit so good. Like it didn't mess me up at all, unlike y'all. Um, and then there's the Bad Batch and some other stuff. I didn't watch any of that. So anything that's animated, I'm not watching until after I get done with all of the live action stuff. Just because it like there's too many. I think Clone Wars is like 5 seasons. I ain't got time for that right now. So yeah, so I watched 1, 2, 3, um, Obi-Wan, which was really excellent show. And then Solo, which I thought was okay, but again, I'm not a four. I didn't watch 4, 5, 6 growing up, so people hated. I thought it was good.
I thought it was good too. I thought Solo was good. Like,
People hated it.
did it really? Okay.
Yeah, Disney said that they'll probably not do any more prequels with new actors
But
because it
they did,
just
but they did Rogue One. Like Rogue One, I thought was pretty good too, right? Because that's
well to replace an actor like the Harrison Ford's still alive, right? So they're like, we're not like Billy D and Harrison Ford. Like people didn't like uh, Donald Glover or the dude who played Solo. Like they hated that. Uh, but I'm like, you can't de-age everybody. Like if you want some new content for these people, you got to get new actors to play these characters. But they're like, we probably won't do that no more.
that's first world problems. People complaining just to complain at that point, right?
Yeah, but I
I
thought it was good. Like I thought he did a good job.
yeah.
But also, I don't have baggage, right? I'm not coming from my childhood 4, 5, 6. I ain't seen him.
So have you seen Rogue One then?
No, so I think today is Rogue One and then 4.
Episode 4. Yep, that's how
Yep.
it goes. Yeah. Okay. I think you'll like Rogue One too. I think you will.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I saw my dudes in there.
Donnie
Oh man,
Yen,
what's his name?
Donnie Yen, the Asian dude.
No, oh man, El Pollo from Breaking Bad.
I never watched Breaking Bad.
Oh, you never watched Breaking Bad? Is it John Esposito? No. Oh, it's gonna kill me. But he plays a lot of iconic characters. So I saw he was in this movie, so I was like, oh, okay. But yeah, he was the big bad from Breaking Bad, and he ran the chicken place. But he was like the biggest meth dealer in the area.
Oh, okay. You are talking about Esposito, Juan Carlo, Giancarlo.
Yes, yeah, I saw he was in it. So I was like, oh, okay. So I'm excited. Plus, I think I like the more ground level stuff. Like when I was watching Obi-Wan, when they were like on a planet doing stuff, I enjoyed that more than the galactic stuff. Like, how are these four people, five people, whatever, always in the right place at the right time, right? I want to see these side characters. Like, what are they doing on these other planets? Like, out here just lollygagging. Wow, you got Death Stars out here. So, but yeah, I'm excited. I'm trying to get through all of it. So this yeah, like today will be Rogue One and 4, and then I hope to be done by the end of July with like 7, 8, 9, and then now I can just watch stuff as it comes out.
Well, after 7, 8, 9, like, did you ever watch The Mandalorian? So, like, The Mandalorian, I think,
No,
takes place after
nope,
that. So, The Mandalorian, you would want to watch too. I think you would like The Mandalorian because I think that's after. Is it after episode 9? No, you might have to watch that after 6.
yeah. Right.
Six.
I think that's the way it's the thumbnails are lined up. I think
Yeah.
it's Rogue One, 4, 5, 6, The Mandalorian, Boba Fett, and then 7, 8,
Seven, eight,
9.
nine. That's what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
Here's the thing. I've seen them, and I'm kind of like you. Like, I haven't watched the animated stuff either when it comes to Star Wars. But I'm like, okay, it's okay, but I'm not a fanatic. Like, I didn't watch 4, 5, and 6 way back in the day, and like I live by them or anything like that. Like, I'll watch them, but it'll probably be another couple years before I watch them again. Right? So,
right.
like, it doesn't.
Right. And I had friends suggest like because they're like big Star Wars fans. They're like, nah, you can't watch the new 4, 5, 6. You got to watch the original. Like, because I guess um they've reshot some scenes in the current 4, 5, 6. They're like, now you got to watch the original. But why would I do that when 1, 2, and 3 are going to go off of the retconned shot stuff, right? Like I get it, pure being pure. Like you have that, and I'm so happy for you and your nostalgia. I'm too old, so I'm just gonna watch what's out there and keep it moving.
Now, there's some
Yeah,
people that are fanatics about it, man, and I
yeah,
just.
and I get that, but I was cool with the new Halo too. Like everybody was up in arms. They're like, "This is not my Halo. This is not my Master Chief." Yada yada yada. I was just like, "Man, listen, I've been playing these games for 20 years. Like, show me something new. Show me something different." So
I,
I'm not as beholden to nostalgia, I think.
I couldn't finish it, and maybe I couldn't finish it because I didn't play the games. You know what I mean? So maybe for me, it's not like I want to see where this this is gonna go. Like, for me,
Right. How far it diverges.
yeah, it didn't appeal to me that way. Maybe I will go in there and pick it up again, but I know you kept trying to get me to, but I was just like,
Yeah,
nah.
it's got some slow. It's got some of those. I likened it. I was talking to a friend about it because he was like, "Yeah, I don't know why they did a whole episode with these two characters. Like they should have just focused on Master Chief." And I was like, "You remember Dragon Ball Z? Every now and then you have an episode where Goku goes to the supermarket. You know, they're just filling in time. Like, why do I care what's happening right now with you know what I mean? Like Vegeta's buying a car. Like,
Is that true?
like oh yeah, like DBZ is full of like the original DBZ cuts, full of just episodes. Like you remember the episodes where they just scream for an entire episode. But yeah, they used to have random episodes. They'd be like, Boma's gonna go do this. And you'd be like, why does this exist? It's because they had caught up to the manga and they didn't know what's next, right? So they have to have filler episodes before they find out what's gonna happen with the big battle. Like Tori, what is it? it's not Tori. I forget the director's name, but sometimes there would be periods of time where he couldn't finish. It's kind of like R.R. Martin,
With
like
Game
yeah,
of
with Game of
Thrones, right?
Thrones.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we have to finish the show, but you're not done with the book, so we have to kind of figure out what we're gonna do. So that would happen with the anime all the time too. They're like, well, we gotta wait. Like, we don't know how this battle's gonna go through, so well, put somebody in a hyperbolic time chamber, make them duke it out for a while. But that's what Halo felt like. Like there was some filler episodes, just kind of like, I don't really care.
Yeah, but like, but the thing is, like, everything for Halo is out there already, right? So
Yeah,
you shouldn't be doing that if everything is out
it diverges so hard. Like they're doing something totally different. By the end of the last episode of Halo, I was like, I don't know what they're doing. Like it's interesting, but I have no clue where they're going with this. So because I've read, I think the first 5 books. I watched the anime where they did kind of like a bunch of different directors did a bunch of different storylines to fill in the gaps for Halo. I played all the games. I know all of those timelines. And the show went. It was just like, now we're going. It's that new Halo. But what else? Oh, I started Resident Evil. So there's a Resident Evil show on Netflix. It's actually really good. I'm on episode 2, and it's not following any of the movie stuff, thank God. Um, and it's just a different storyline. Like
So it's not
it
following the game either then?
no, no. It may go that way at some point. Like maybe they'll tie it in, but right now they're kind of going through this. Like it starts off with 2036 and how bad things are, and then they flip back to 2022, and they kind of build upon like the characters, and they try and let you know what happened before everything went to crap. So so far so good. But yeah, I would say it was probably going to wind up being my favorite live action interpretation of Resident Evil is what it's starting to go towards. Because I only liked the first movie, and then the rest of it became real fast and furious like after that. And then they had some CGI movies; those were all terrible too. Like the only thing that was good was the games and the first movie. So this looks like this will fix a lot of that.
So the ones that had Mila Jovovich or whatever her name
Yeah.
was, were they following video games in those? Because I didn't watch all of those. I only
The
watched.
the first movie, yes, and
Mhm.
then like, I don't know, like she's like literally. I think it was in the third one. The world turns to a desert, and we're like, why? And they're like, oh, it's because the zombies. It's a T virus did this. You're like, what? And then destroyed a satellite in space using her mind. I was like, what is happening? What are we doing here? Terrible. But
So
the
like
first one was good.
her husband was the director, right? For those or
He
something like
and
that, right?
that is a great relationship. Like we making crazy money. I'm directing it. You're going to be in it every single time. Every time I do a movie, because he did Monster Hunter. I think he was the director for that. People hate that adaptation of the video game. They turn into a live action movie, and he's the director, and she's the star.
I'm
And
not
they're
familiar with
like,
that one.
yeah, I've never seen it, but I don't play Monster Hunter games. But the basis is um, they're like um, kind of like action games. Like you're going around actually hunting monsters, right? Like you're on a planet, it has monsters, you're a monster hunter. Um, and you go after the small ones first, and then you craft weapons, you get bigger and better weapons, and you learn new techniques, and then you go after bigger and bigger monsters. That's the premise. They didn't do that in the movie. Like it had Ti, and he was in the military, like in the trailer. Like I'm like, what is happening? What are we doing here?
T.I. the rapper?
Yeah, he's in it. Like they drive
Okay.
through a portal. Like they're in combat, and they drive through a portal, and they wind up on a monster world.
Okay.
Because you can't just do what's in the game in the movie. Like this is that's not possible. Like Doom, remember Doom? Doom was simple concept. Like open a portal to hell.
Yeah.
Sit, fight demons. They're like, nah.
You're gonna go through a space station and then yeah,
Yeah.
it was different. Yeah.
They're like, nah. That's, the audience won't like that.
You know,
What?
and it's crazy when you do that with an old game that's probably got so many buys, right? Like Doom is
Yeah,
one of those things where it's been around forever. People would have been fine with that, right? But they're like, no, 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 we're gonna change it up. We're not gonna do that, but we are gonna get The Rock, so people will still come see
right.
The Rock. You know, and it's like, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't like, but I don't make movies. I'm not a producer, right? But
But
they're doing a terrible job.
it's the studios. The studios got to green light it, right? That's the way it
Yeah,
works. Studio has to Paramount or whoever, Warner Brothers or whoever has to say, yeah, we'll do it. Who's the director? It's going to be attached to it. Give me a good actor, you know. So
yeah,
yeah, I don't know. Sometimes, I mean, sometimes I've read stories where if you get an actor to say that they'll do something, then a studio will green light it, right? They'll be like, oh, you got Denzel, you got this person, you got this person.
right.
We'll green light that, but those are probably few and far between, right? The studio has to see something to make it worth their investment. So
Yeah. But just because somebody gives like, so I don't know. I preach to the choir. Like it's like, hey, we're gonna reboot RoboCop, but he's not gonna be a cop. And he's not gonna be a machine. And it's not gonna be in Detroit. You're like, but why? Why would you do that?
like the name doesn't even make sense at that point, right? Like RoboCop, like he's none of those things.
None of those things. You're like, but why? They're like, but we got Chris Hemsworth to play Murphy. You're
Stamp
like,
it. Stamp it.
so I don't know. Well, so speaking of Chris Hemsworth, so I saw a movie called Spiderhead on Netflix. Actually, really good. Um,
I saw bad reviews for it.
it's probably because it's not what you think it's going to be.
Mm.
Like it's like I thought it's humorous, right? So it has Chris Hemsworth not being a superhero, right? So that's different, and then it has journeys in it as well. Journey, Smollett,
Smollett, yeah, or
Smollett,
Smollett
Smollett,
Bell
yeah,
or something. She got a
yeah. So
hyphenated
she's
name.
in
Yeah.
it. I thought it was I thought it was good. Like it was funny. It's right up my alley, right? It's semi future dystopic. You know what I mean? Like
So I saw so let me not say I saw the trailer, but like when you go to Netflix and you just you
they force you to watch the trailer.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. So like it was, but it was a scene though, the one that I saw, and he was just drinking coffee, talking to her in the kitchen. So like
Yeah.
I was like, I don't understand exactly what this is about, and I've said this before and I'll say it again. Like Netflix is just not doing it for me. So you gotta catch my attention if you want me to watch something.
Right.
I
I'm
saw that.
surprised they used that scene for the trailer. Like they had so many other things they could do for the
Yeah,
trailer.
no, if I remember this correctly, he was leaning against the counter drinking coffee and
Yeah.
he's talking to her. She's on the other side of the bar. And it was all of maybe 45 seconds or something like that.
Mm.
And I was
Okay.
just kind of like, I don't know. You're not telling me what this is about.
Yeah.
Right.
Because it has some very violent scenes. They could have used one of those instead. Um, like the general premise without giving much away though, like Spiderhead is a prison. He is the warden, but he's a scientist. And for them to be in this very Gucci facility, they have to agree to go through trials and experiments for products. And that's the so you get to know the characters. You get to be like, oh, they couldn't have done something that horrible. But as the story progresses, you find out like some of these people threw their spouses off roofs, or left their baby in the car, things like that. Like so, they get you attached to the character just to then give you the backstory. Um, and him being the warden is he's he has to manipulate them to go through the trials and things of that nature. So, but I thought it was I thought it was it's not something I'll go to theater to see, but it's something like, oh, it's available, I'll watch it.
Yeah, I would be interested in that actually. I would watch that. I'll probably look for that tomorrow.
Yeah, and that's not the trailer they sent you. I don't know why they picked that scene.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah.
And this was a little while ago. So like if I do it now, it may be a different scene or it may be a more full trailer.
Mhm.
But that's the one that they showed. And I was just like,
Yeah,
well, that doesn't
but
do it.
I would give it a solid 7.
Okay. Well, I know
Mm,
that one
yeah.
came out around the same time the one with his wife came out, right? Like his wife is did the one uh she's on I don't know if she's on an oil rig or something like that. Um L, Ella Pataki or something like that. She had one that was number one on Netflix for a minute there, uh,
Mm.
and they both came out around the same time. Because I think he's a producer on Spider, whatever.
Yeah, Spiderhead. Yeah, that's the
Spider.
name of the prison. The prison's called Spiderhead.
So, um, yeah, both of them were on Netflix around the same time. I was like, oh, okay. What was the name of hers? See, now I can't remember what the name of her.
Making money hand over fist. What they
I
doing?
know, right? Look, well, he's already Thor, so he's already making money. But
Yeah,
yeah,
because
it's
their kids are in the Thor movie too. Like all the main actors, their children are in the movie. So like the trailer when you see Thor running and he's getting older, like so you have different kids at different ages. The smallest, I think it's the smallest child, is his son, and then because I think his son and daughter are twins. So that's his son, and then in the movie is his daughter Natalie Portman's child is in it, and I want to say one of Christian Bale's kids is in it too.
made it a family affair, huh? That's
Hmm.
cool. That's neat. You know what I mean? That's cool.
Yeah.
As long as they're not forced into it, right? As long as the parents aren't making them do it.
Right,
But
right.
but Interceptor was the name of her movie.
Interceptor. Oh, I did see a trailer for that. I didn't watch it though.
Yeah, that's his wife. That's the lead in that
Oh,
one.
okay.
I think it's an oil rig, or maybe it's a prison in the ocean or something. I don't know. I can't remember what it was, but
Hmm.
it was number one on Netflix. And then, like I said, Spiderhead came out not too long after that. They were both on Netflix at the same time.
Gotcha. I might check that out though. I gotta consume this Star Wars. Um, I gotta stay on pace.
Which actually
Uh,
reminds me, I did actually start watching like the Star Trek movies. Like I watched the first one through the
okay.
six so far because I was like, man, it's been a while since I've seen these, and some of them I was just like, ugh. I remember why I haven't watched this in a
Right.
while. You
You
know?
watched the one with the whales yet?
Yes, that was the fourth
Yeah.
one. Yeah,
I remember
I was
that from childhood.
I was like,
I remember that.
yeah. So like, yeah, it was kind of weird. So like, I'm through all the original cast now. So one through six was the original cast, right, or from
Yeah.
Star Trek, the original series. So the seventh one is the first one with Picard. Uh,
Okay.
so Generations, because that has Shatner in it too, if I remember
Yeah.
correctly. I
Yeah.
think.
I remember my grandmother had, I think, up to seven on VHS. So I used to watch those because she was a big original series fan.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like as I watch them, I'm like I never watched the original series. Like I've seen maybe an episode or two, but I never watched the original series. Right, that's from the '60s. I'm not that old, so
Right.
I didn't watch those. But even then, that only went on for like 3 years or something like that. And then it was a like they didn't come out with the original movie till like 12 years after that had already been done.
Right.
So yeah, it was interesting watching some of those. I was just like, wow, man. Like I don't remember this, but some of this stuff was I could see why people weren't fans.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
But when it comes to games, I've been playing that Echo Generation that Levon put me on. It's actually pretty fun, RPG. So I've been running through that. It's like it's very simple RPG mechanics, and it's kind of like an old school point and click. Like you can't get certain things without doing certain things, right? So you're like, I need that um, controller from this character, but he won't give it to me until I find some Christmas lights. And then it's like, where I find these Christmas lights? Yeah, it was the actual thing. I had to find some Christmas lights. Um, and they give you a hint. They're like, people usually store those in their basement. So like I'm walking around town, going through houses and whatnot, and I finally got to a basement. And there was a kid in a cage. So I was like, what is going on? It was the principal kidnapped a kid, which sounds terrible, right? Like they put in the game though. Because it was for summer school. It was like you need more education or whatever. But it was like this creepy principal who had these dolls in the house, and you had to get the key from the principal. But in order to do that, you had to trigger this other event. So it's like you have to. It's a lot of um, fetch quests, but the storyline's pretty funny. So I'm actually enjoying it. I should probably be done with it by now, but I only put in like 30 minutes here, 20 minutes there. Um, and Halo. I've been playing a little bit of Halo. Trash. I'm my skills are gone. I'm out here just getting murdered. But it comes with old age.
So you're going online. You're not playing the single player campaign or
Yeah,
anything
so
like.
I beat the campaign. I got pretty much everything I'm gonna get out of it for now. So I'm playing. The big draw is online multiplayer, right? So I can play in the big team stuff because I'm not the focus, right? I'm just in the bigger battle. I can have some fun, but oh man, anything that's one on one, I'm getting worked.
Myrtleized.
Yeah, yeah. My skills are not where they need to be at. Because part of it is getting older, so my reflexes are a little bit slower. But then the rest of it, I can see them. It's if you want to melee someone, you can't turn at the same time unless you have an elite controller because you have to remove your thumb has to move, right? So there's only like the mechanics of a controller. There's only certain behaviors you can do unless you upgrade. So I can tell people are playing with like they're younger than me, they're faster and stronger, but I can also tell that they're using elite controllers, and I can tell their refresh rate's faster than mine. So I'm playing on an old school TV, right? So I'm getting maybe 60, maybe. These kids are playing on better televisions. They're getting 120. So they like things are more fluid. They're faster. Reaction times are quicker. I'm just getting murdered.
They're not cussing you out, are they?
So I don't even play with because I don't have a headset for my Xbox anyway. I could use my phone, but I don't even bother. I'm like, I don't have nothing to share with you. Like, like I don't want to talk trash. I want to hear you talk trash, and I'm not really contributing to this team. So why would I even speak? Like I'm holding y'all back.
I just didn't know if you were hearing like kids that sound like that pimply kid on The Simpsons, right? Like he's
Right,
got all the different jobs.
right.
Sir, you suck. We need you to get off the team.
So I'm definitely not doing. Oh, and then I should probably lead with this, but I did not pass the Azure Cloud Fundamentals. I just missed it. Um, so I'm going to reattack that. So I've been studying a little bit, but not going too hard just yet. That's going to be my August. Um,
Goal for
uh, hmm?
goal.
Yeah, it's my goal for August is to start and take the test again and pass it. I needed 700. I got like a 684. So close enough where I was like, I should have studied harder because it wasn't that difficult test. Like I have never taken a Microsoft test before, so I don't know if they're all like this, but it was multiple choice, multiple answer. I hate those. But it's a real test of your knowledge, right? But I'm always afraid that if I get one of those, I didn't select the right one, or I didn't. If it's four things and I only pick two, but I should have picked three, I always have that like, am I going to lose? How many points am I going to lose? Like just ask me one question, one answer, but it wasn't that difficult of a test. It just I needed to go harder on architecture. I didn't understand the fundamentals of Azure architecture the way I should have. So back to the drawing board.
Get that relaxation in, man. Get your movies and your gaming in before you hit it that hard, right? Like,
Yeah,
relax your brain a little bit. Well,
yeah. But that is the August plan, right? I'm gonna get through this month, relax. I did a little bit of traveling, so I got to see another location out here in Turkey. It's like more of a resort type situation. So I went there yesterday. No, I went there Friday. And I came back yesterday. So
that's good.
mhm.
So like, but like base sponsored though, right? Or
No, this one was like we hit the road this time because it
really?
was only like an hour and a half, 2 hours away.
Okay.
So it's my first time riding in the mean streets. They're not the most aggressive drivers I've been around. Seen like Israel's like was the most aggressive, I think, and then the most dangerous was probably Paris or Sicily was rough too, but uh, they don't necessarily abide by any rules though. So you have people cut you off from you'll be in the left hand lane, they'll cut you off from the far right and make a left, or they'll just come in the wrong direction. Like as opposed to waiting for the light to get them out to make the left, they'll just turn right into the left and just keep going down the street on the shoulder as though that's safer. So maybe at some points it was like, are we wrong? Are we on the wrong side of the street? No, they just multiple people decided they want to drive this way.
Bahrain was pretty bad like that. When I was in
Yeah.
Bahrain, I was just like, wow. And like they were there fighting with each other too, right? Because they're under an was it an oligarchy? Was where the minority rules, right? Oligarchy? No, whatever it is. But yeah, so like you'll have like you'll be out there in the streets, and then just all of a sudden there's a tire fire over there, right? Like in the middle of the road. It's like okay, we got to go around that. But like people are just like it's a huge fire, and you can't really see to the other side of it. People are just like
Right.
you will see traffic come on both sides of it. I'm like, hey, we need to pick a side that we're gonna go around this tire fire. We all go on the right or we all go on the left. Like, what is this gonna be, right?
No.
They're just like, nah, whichever way is free, you know.
Right.
Easy. No.
Yeah, it was kind of wild out there, but it was fun. Real chill. I got to see the Med again. So I've seen the Med from 4 countries now. Uh, Turkey, Morocco, Israel, and Sicily. So I was like, that's pretty cool. So I took some pictures and whatnot, make a collage. like,
Really? Okay.
look at me in these places, because I ain't traveling for a while. Like once I get back to the States, I'm gonna chill for a little bit.
Yeah, I definitely understand that.
Yeah.
Uncle Sam ain't making you, right? Yeah.
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 Need to sat down for a little while. Um, but yeah, all in all, it was a pretty productive couple of weeks. Like the plan is to just, I think we've got another long weekend coming up. Is just to chill, and just watching these movies, playing these games, and just not doing much. is what is the plan.
The next one you shouldn't have one coming up till Labor Day, right? It's like over a month away, right?
No, we got some days to catch up on because we lost some days earlier in the year,
Sure.
just due
Okay.
to mission and timing and whatnot. So like,
Okay.
I think there was only one full week this entire month. I greatly
Wow.
appreciated it. Yep, they've all been 4 days. So I was like, bet, because I'm not gonna get that when I get out, right? Like there's like 3 days are rare, let alone I had a whole month where I only had one 5-day week.
Yeah, that's not the norm.
It's great.
Even if you end up working on like a government contract, like you don't get them family days, man. That's not how that works.
Right. So I'm gonna take advantage of it while I can. But yeah, that pretty much wrapped it up. Um, I'm sure Levano has some stories when he comes back on. Like I said, I'm trying to get um, a friend of mine to come on and talk about. He's a self-proclaimed script kiddie, and he's working on pen testing. He does all this stuff as a hobby. So I'll get with him, talk about his tools, how he got started, because I feel a lot of questions about pen testing because it's it's sexy, it's fun, it's red team. Um, but I'm more of a compliance and governance type guy. I like the boring stuff. So it's hard to have those conversations. Like I give everybody a good foundation, but like when you want to talk about tools and stuff like that, they see certified ethical hacker and they're like, "Oh, you know how to do this." I'm like, "That's not what that means." Like very fundamental. Like you got to talk to somebody who's wearing a hoodie, made the lab in the house. You know what I mean?
You got to
Practicing.
talk to Mr. Robot, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Bringing Mr. Robot in training on the show to talk through it. So I think it should be a pretty good time. I'm still fielding questions, so if you have questions out there, please submit them to us. I haven't got anything really back yet. I have my own questions, but it's always better if I can answer the questions of the people who are actually out there wondering how to do this. So there's that. But I'll bring this episode to a close. Thank you, Shannon, for making it happen. It was definitely a good week. Check out our Monday, Tuesday topics, our Wednesday discussion, and give us your feedback. Like again, I've been seeing a lot more comments, so greatly appreciate that. Love the feedback and love to interact with people who actually listen to the show. So hit up all of our social medias. They all go by the podcast name. Give me a personally. I'm at RyRy Security Guy. That's RYRY Security Guy. I'm on Clubhouse, LinkedIn, Twitter, and TikTok. And Levon can be found at Levon Maynard on Twitter. Stay safe, stay secure.